This past week, I attended a women's conference called Binyan Shalem, and I attended a very important class on women's health called, it was a class on the pelvic floor muscles. So pelvic floor muscles are really, really important because many women, especially mothers, have weakened pelvic floor muscles, and this becomes really a problem after the age of 40, especially. 1 in 4 women, it turns out, over the age of 40 have urinary incontinence. It means that like they sneeze or they sneeze or they cough or something, and they urinate in their underwear. So it's really a big problem that a lot of women suffer from. So I thought this is something really important that I want to learn about. So I went to this class with a physical therapist who specializes in the pelvic floor muscles and strengthening them. And the thing is, so this woman gave it was an hour and 20-minute class. The woman gave a ton of information, and she gave a lot of different ways, a lot of different tricks, a lot of different approaches to strengthen the pelvic floor muscles, and also to prevent any further damage of the pelvic floor muscles. So the thing is, so she gave so many different ideas of what to do. Like you should pick things up squatting and not bending over at the waist. You should she said you don't want to be standing up and working in the kitchen for more than 1 hour. So for women who get ready for Shabbat, that's nearly impossible. So she said like she was saying about herself. She said well, I start getting ready for Shabbat on Tuesday. She starts cooking for Shabbat on Tuesday. And she said Pesach, well, cleaning for Pesach also, you shouldn't be. How do you clean for Pesach? Not more than an hour a day. So she said well, I start right after Hanukkah. I start the 15th of Tevet. That's like mid-January. She starts cleaning. And she gave all these ideas. Like she said also with shopping. She says women shouldn't be carrying heavy bags. So you should send your husband to the shopping. Basically, what happened was she gave so many different ideas that I left the class with nothing practical. That I was actually gonna that I think I'm actually gonna do in my life. And it was too bad because I know that this is a very important topic, but because there were so many suggestions, then it just sort of nothing happened. Nothing came out of this class. It reminded me of something of a wonderful story that I heard from our friend. My husband has a very, very dear friend named Yael, and Yael was telling us about how Bedouins start a fire. So Bedouins, what they do is they light like a flame. They light one little flame, okay, and then they go like this. They take their fingers, and make a little diamond like this, okay, and then they blow through it. And the force is so it ends up being, because it's so small and so focused, it has a lot of force. And that's how, and out of that, then he saw when he's seen Bedouins do it, then the fire just shoots up. And it makes this immediate big fire because it's such a focused stream of air. And so I think that this is such a powerful idea, that this is really the secret. This is the secret to so many things that we want to achieve in our lives. Let's say a person is suffering. All of us have something in our lives that we're suffering from, something that we would like to change, something that we'd like to change in our character traits, or the way that things are working in our family. All of us have something that we're struggling with. I know that personally. I have something I've been struggling with for many years. I had a traumatic incident in my childhood, and so it's something that for years I've just been a little bit struggling with it. And so I decided recently that I'm going to do EMDR. EMDR, for anyone who has what you call PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. And about 3% of Americans over the age of 18 do have PTSD. So anyone who suffered from, Baruch Hashem, my thing is pretty, it's not something so terrible, my own personal traumatic experience, but people who suffered from abuse of any kind, or let's say an accident, or any sort of, or an illness, or a death, or grieving, or many people like that, and they can't recover, because they can't recover emotionally from what they've been through, because they have post-traumatic stress disorder. So there's a really miraculous approach to overcoming PTSD. It's called EMDR. It's a very, very simple thing. I mean, you need to do it. You need to do it with a trained like psychologist or psychiatrist who specializes in this. But what he does, what he or she does is they go like this. They do like this sort of hand movement like this while you're talking about the traumatic experience, and it really it's been approved, for example, by the American Veterans Administration for war veterans who have of course very, very high levels of PTSD. Then EMDR is one of the 3 approved methods by the VA to overcome post trauma, because it has such high such high, incredibly high rates of success. So I decided I'm going to start doing EMDR, and I had my first appointment last week, and that's my focus thing, my one thing that I'm doing to get over this traumatic experience that I've been through. And I think that this is a really good approach to take with anything that you're struggling with in life. I think that my teacher, Rabbi Niven of the Personal Development Chabures, he was just telling us this week about what defines us. You know, people think that they are defined by how they look, by what they do, by who, you know, how much money they have, by how many kids they have, by how many by who they're married to, but really what defines us is our identity as a chooser, what we want, what is our ratzon, what are we aiming towards. And I think that this going like this and choosing one small thing to focus on in life, this defines us as a chooser. What do we want? What are we striving for? And even if we're not there yet, you know, even if we're very, very far from achieving, you know, what we dream of achieving, you know, then going like this and sort of defining ourselves this way, I think also it enables Hashem to send, by making this certain hishtadlut, this relatively small and very focused hishtadlut, it enables Hashem to send bracha and to make it enables Hashem to bring about the change which we're so waiting for. I think this is an especially important topic to keep in mind, because we're only a few days. Today is the 20th of Av, meaning that we're only a few days away from Elul. Elul is the month of getting ready for the high holidays, and it's the month of personal change. So I want to bless all of you Jewish moms. I'm certain that every person watching this has something in her life that she would like to change. There's something about her family, something about herself, something about her marriage, something about anything. And so so I recommend to go like this, to learn from the Bedouins, and to go like this. What's a small, focused step that you're going to take to make that change? And I'll bless all of you that you should see so much blessing through this focused and small effort. Okay, I want to bless all of you Jewish moms with an amazing, amazing week.